This time, this is my fight song. Take back my life song.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here for another fun edition of Deborah Kobylt Live. And in studio with me today, friend and guest is Kerri Kasem.
Yay!
You are part of our Give Back show today. You're a big part of our Give Back show today. For people who don't know you, and I find that hard to believe, you're a radio host, you're an activist, you are the originator, right, of Kasem Cares?
I am.
Kasem Cares. We'll talk about that in a minute for people who don't know. You're a speaker, and you're also a businesswoman. And you're an incredible philanthropist, an incredible person. And one reason why I want to carry on today, other than to talk about and refresh about what's going on with Kasem Cares, is because every time I see you on social media, you are running somewhere to help someone. Okay? You've been in Houston. You went to Mexico, back to Houston. And you don't even ask. You just go, boots on the ground, and you look at pictures of you, and you're sitting there, you're lifting bags of whatever needs to be lifted. That's it, and that's who Kerri Kasem is. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me
And
again.
if people could just do a little bit of that this holiday season, a little bit. It doesn't have to be in Houston or in Mexico, but somewhere, right, in our own communities. Were you just born this way, Kerri?
No, I think, it's funny. My dad was always this way. Always.
Yes, your dad was.
Yes.
He was. He was always known to being such a giving guy.
Huge humanitarian. I mean, big activist. For my first protests were with him.
Oh, really? Where was that?
Oh my gosh.
So when he would we would do that to our kids. We'll drag them to all kinds of like protests and things we're involved in.
Okay, so one of the scariest ones was the No Contra Aid. And that was at the Federal Building on Wilshire Boulevard here in Los Angeles. And we're marching for No Contra Aid, and guys come up to him with guns. And I remember that. And I don't want to say who because it dealt with a lot of other stuff. But I remember my dad completely diffusing the situation. And it was another political... It was another political party that was not very happy with my dad and his political beliefs and what he stood for. And that scared me. But also we protested against, animal abuse. And
They tried to really knock him down. They tried to really, scare him. But I don't know. Your dad was just one of those guys where, you're right, he would diffuse it. They would end up liking him and walk away, right? That's the kind of guy he was.
He was. Most people have no idea how hard he fought for peace in the Middle East and all the people that he brought together, the Zionists, the Arabs, and everybody. And he would have these peace talks, and he tried so hard for that.
And you're carrying on.
I am.
You are your father's daughter. I mean, it's really amazing. You are carrying on.
Yeah, I wasn't. There was a time in my life I wasn't like this, and I think I did a lot of soul searching. Wanted to do more with my life. Wanted to give back, and wanted to do something to. When I leave this earth, I can say I made a difference. I helped someone. I helped people.
When was that you took a turn, that you wanted to do something?
I've always given to, different charities, been on boards, done stuff like that the last 20 years. I've always helped, but not in a way that I'm doing now. And I think when something hits you so hard as your parent being taken away from you and injustice and lies and all this, it's so horrific. You have to do something. And then you have other people writing you saying, it's happening to me. Please help me. Please help me. I don't have any money. I don't have a famous last name. Nobody cares. I can't see my mom. I can't see my dad.
I have no money to help me.
Right?
Nothing.
So I finally said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to do something about this. And that's when I started changing the laws, because there are no laws that give rights to adult children and to the elderly and sick parents.
So talk a little bit about Kasem Cares for people who don't know.
Yeah. So Kasem Cares is a foundation I created, and I did it because I didn't know anything about this. I said, I need a charity. I need a nonprofit. I need to get donations. I have to get money in to help people. And then I created this. I learned all about nonprofits. I got a board. And I have a grief counselor, Julie Belshi. You can call her if you're being blocked from a parent.
But this was a heartbreaking story.
Oh, it was horrible.
You were blocked from seeing your dad when he was alive. And then after he passed away, his wife at the time flew him out of the country.
Well, this is what she did.
Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, I mean, it's worse than that.
Horrifying.
It's
Oh
worse
my
than
God.
that. She falsified his death certificate. This is Jean Thompson Kasem. She falsified his death certificate stating that he lived in Israel for 18 years. My dad has never visited Israel. that they were there together. She spelled his name wrong. She didn't know his mom and dad's name. She tried to get him in Israel, didn't embalm my father to get him there. They said no. So then she waits another month, tries to get him in France. They say no.
Why
then
is she doing this?
Your guess is as good as mine. This is somebody who, when I was very, very young, was extremely cruel to all three of us kids. And she made it very clear that we were not a part of her new family. And my dad always tried to, buffer things and say, it's going to get better. She's very insecure. She will grow to love you. And eventually, years later, I said, why would you marry somebody who didn't love your kids? And we
He
really
got sucked in. That's
yeah.
why.
But I'll tell you why he never got out of it. People always say this. Why didn't he get out? I mean, he was battered. He was abused. I get it now. I deal with people like this all the time. It's a very hard situation to be in. But I think why
It's
he
also
didn't.
hard to pinpoint. You're like, because a lot of people on the outside might go, what do you mean abused? Where? Oh, it's abuse.
Yes, it is.
It's mind screwing with his mind. He
You
was
don't
getting a
even
little
know the
older.
half of it, and
Oh,
I wish I could talk because there's so much I know now. But when the wrongful death trial starts, I don't have to get up on that stand. Neither does my brother or sister or my dad. All we have to do is let the people who worked in that house of horrors get up there and talk about what happened
When
to
is
my
that
dad.
gonna be?
Hopefully, within this next year for sure. So it's been really hard to sit and listen to what happened to my dad, and how elder abuse is swept under the rug, and how DAs that we like, the one that had my father's case for 11 months said, oh, we don't have enough information. You didn't even look. You didn't care, and you didn't have the competency to actually go forward with the trial. So it's been very, very upsetting because elder abuse is very rarely prosecuted. And when
and it's
all
really real.
It's really real.
So horrifying. I've seen a lot of cases, and I am so proud and I'm happy. It takes someone like you to stand up and be pissed off and be called every name imaginable. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's this.
Oh,
No,
she
she's
wants
not.
money. Oh, she wants
no,
this. Oh,
she's not.
Yeah.
Okay. No, she's not. It takes someone like that to. I mean, look what's happening with all the sexual abuse.
Finally.
You know how many of those women were told, "Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you'll never work again." It took one or two people to stand up and say, "That's it." And now finally it's exploding. I really do believe finally there will be a little bit of a change, hopefully.
No, there
and
will be.
Same with
Yes.
what you're doing.
Yes.
Enough people are going to get behind this where they're going to say no more. Abuse is so real. I've lived it myself. Abuse is a very real thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's just that I get agitated. And I'm like,
I
wait
do
a
too. I
minute.
mean, this is why I'm doing this. This is why my whole life has been dedicated to, changing laws and to moving forward with this. So I'm dedicated to getting all 50 states with laws that curb elder abuse and going federally with this as well. So it's been, it's been hard, and there was a huge curve because I let go of my, show from Clear Channel 5 days a week, being paid a lot of money, was with 6 Cents, Nikki Six. I had this wonderful show.
You have something even bigger that you're doing,
Yeah.
Kerri. And you're still on the airwaves. You're over at KBC.
Yeah.
So we can find you, just maybe not 5 days, but we can find you. And once you're through with this, you'll have way more to say in 5 days. And people will always want you back. So you had to let it go to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
You can't do everything. You can't.
No.
So I applaud you for doing this. I'm grateful for all the people that have suffered abuse. You need to be doing this. So
Thank you so much. Yeah, and
really mean it.
I can't let these cries go unheard. And there are two major victories. So we had a few major victories in the wrongful death case this last month. Jean Thompson Kasem tried to put a wrongful death suit on me, my brother, my sister's husband, our attorney, the hospital.
Wait, when did she do this?
She did this literally the last day possible, last June 15th. So a few months ago, she did this. That was the day my dad died 3 years prior. So she couldn't do it any of those other years, but she did it the last day, and it was just thrown out. It was just dismissed. So, it was fraudulent. There were so many lies in it that there was no way it could go on. So it was dismissed. She tried to get out of it, stating she lived she was a world citizen. And then she stated that my dad lived in Washington, and but in all the other court cases she's had in Los Angeles, she has stated she's a resident here. So just lies after lie after lie. You can't do that. You can't. You're going to get caught.
Now, is she trying to prevent you from getting any money that may or may not be there? Because I know already you said, just take it.
We did. We
I
told
just
her to
want
take it all. Just give us
take
our
it.
dad back,
Just
please.
give us our dad.
Yeah.
Give us our...
over and over and over again.
Could the laws make her ship him back here?
Oh, I'm gonna get him back.
Ship
here.
his body
No, I'm
back
gonna get
here?
him back here. As soon as I win the wrongful death suit, he'll be back here. But we have an angel donor who's just amazing, and she finds people that write into us, Kasem Cares. She's the chairman of the board, and she helps find angel donors. She donates her money. She's an amazing woman, Kathleen Wright Braun. She went through the same exact thing as I did, and she will help people see their parents by finding them an attorney, helping pay for bills. And we had 2 major victories. We got somebody out of a fraudulent guardianship. When you put somebody in guardianship, you take all their constitutional rights away, completely gone. They can't drive. They can't make medical decisions. They can't do anything.
I had someone on the other day. In fact, it was last week. And he said one of the best things that people can do now, get your phone and videotape, record their wishes. And hopefully you can see through that they're not being coerced in any way. Record it.
Yeah, no, I've been saying that for 4 years.
I know you have, but not enough people have been doing it. So now that more people are on your bandwagon, record it. Were you able to even get in and record your dad? I don't even think.
Oh yeah. Because we knew, we had a heads up. Jean had done this to her mom, isolated her mom, wouldn't let any of her siblings see her, lied about her condition. We know so much more that I can't really go into, but she basically didn't tell them when she was dead, and she cremated them and then stole everything that was theirs. And I hate when I hear this from lawyers, guardians, people that are keeping the kids or family members away from an ailing parent. You hear these greedy kids. What?
Usually, it's not the greedy kid.
No, it's not greedy kids. We want to see our parents. Second of all, dad or mom left money to us kids and left money to their grandchildren, our children, and we are saying, "Yay, you left this to us," and not necessarily my case, but I see this all over happening. You worked your whole life to leave a little money to us kids and your grandkids. And now that some lawyer you don't know has taken it all, or some guardian has taken it all, or some, caretaker, whether it's a wife or another sibling, has taken all your money, they're calling us greedy. Wait a second. This was in your will. This is who you wanted to leave it to. This is rightfully ours. But we're greedy children? It is it's psychological torture. It's mean. It's horrible. And we didn't go for the money. We never asked for the money, but that's what she used on us. They're greedy. Okay.
Do you think anybody ever believed it, though? No.
Yeah, no, they did for a little while until we started proving everything that she said was a lie. Everything. I don't know.
When I hear those stories, I don't believe them.
Oh, that's good. You're smart.
Well, because how can you? I mean, you're his child.
Yeah.
And clearly had a close relationship with him. And it's in writing. And I think people know. And you're right. It just has to play itself out. But still, the scars, they don't really go away. Don't you live with this? Are you one of those people where you wake up at night or in the middle of the night, and it's still
No, I've done so much therapy. I can't even tell you. I've worked so hard on this and myself.
I love your honesty. Don't you love her honesty?
No, you need to, because the people that don't handle this and take care of themselves, they live in pain. It comes out on everybody else. It comes out in their work, their job, their relationships. And I'm not going to live that way. Life is short. It is short. And I refuse to.
All right. What did you do to get rid of that angst? I know people, and I'll tell you who later, she's a pretty well-known name. She's going through the same thing. And she told me, Deborah, I wake up in the middle of the night. I've got it in there. I can't release it because she's living with this pain of not being. She's just stuck. How did you let this go? It's besides that, it was public for you. It's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
And wherever you go, people sort of think they know your story when in fact they don't. Yep. And they judge. And that's hard too. I guess you really have to get a tough skin and say, you know what? I got to deal with what's at hand.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I did a certain type of therapy that was very helpful for me.
What was
extremely
it? Was
helpful,
like the
helpful for me.
PTSD?
No, and none of that. And if anybody wants to know what I do, there's certain things that I talk about. And if anybody asks me, like, what book should I read? Who should I go to?
Tell us.
I can just write me, because there's so much, there's so many things, there's so many different things that you go through. I can go, okay, this book for that. Okay, that book for that. Okay, I read this book for that. Oh, this person really helped me here. So, I mean, Kasem, you can find me at Kerri at KasemCares.com. That's Kerri at KasemCares.com, and I can help you through that. I've helped a lot of people with that. But
And
then
by
there
the
are
way,
people that
she means it. She'll answer the email. She
do.
doesn't just, you answer everything.
I do.
People do come to you as a resource, not just for help with their parents and just to have, for your head, but everything, beauty even. I mean, we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
I can't wait to talk about that. That's
We'll
amazing.
talk that in a minute.
Yes.
But first, I just want to finish up with Kasem Cares. You've had 11 bills passed now, which is huge. That is enormous. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell us all.
So, I've been working the last 4 years with the Kasem Cares visitation bill. Troy Martin, my stepdad, Robert Naylor, and Assemblyman Mike Gatto, who's former Assemblyman now, we got together and wrote this bill, and we've now got it passed in 11 states. And I have to say, it's a team effort.
Incredible.
It's amazing.
And it says what? These bills say?
I mean, in short, it's basically being able to ask a judge for visitation to your ailing or elderly parent when there's an uncooperative caretaker, whether that's a spouse, another sibling, a guardian, somebody with power of attorney. So instead of going through an entire fight over guardianship, conservatorship, or power of attorney, which can cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, the judge now, instead of the weight being put on the kids to prove that they're good kids, it goes to the isolator. Well, why aren't you letting his kids in to see him? Why aren't you letting other family members in? Why are you isolating their mother? What's going on here? And they have to show proof. Now, all kids don't deserve visitation. There are some very destructive, some kids that are not good. So this is not forced visitation. If the parent does not want to see that kid, there is no forced visitation.
Right. And essentially, it's just fair. It's just what's right and what's fair.
Right. There's
if
also
the parent wants to see the kid, in other words, there just shouldn't be any block.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you are right now experiencing your mom or your dad, you can't get a hold of them very easily. They're always the caretaker saying, "Oh, they're tired. They can't come to the phone. Oh, we're busy." That is a red flag, a big red flag. And you need to get in to see your parent immediately, videotape them, have them hold if they have enough wits about them.
What are some other red flags, if you will, of elder abuse?
Elder abuse, it always starts with isolation. Abuse in every category, whether it's child abuse, domestic violence, elder abuse. You'll find the isolator, the person that's abusing, really start to get the friends out of the way. Put blocks in between everybody. Start talking bad about people. Use people against them. Oh, this person did this to me. So they start to put these kind of blocks up. So you can't really get in. And then they start to do it to the family members, and they make themselves indisposable to the person they're abusing. Well, you want your food tonight? You want somebody to take care of you? Then you're not having your kids over. They don't love you.
And they're good. They're narcissists and they're good. They tend to be charming and get people on their side.
Right.
I mean, it's very hard to see through that. And
it's basic human rights. Yeah. It is basic human rights. I'm an ambassador for Youth for Human Rights and United for Human Rights. And it really is a basic human right. It's the family unit. And it's all, the abuser gets in there and destroys it. Kids start fighting over things, like the lies that are told. It's really horrible. And the abuser, it's cookie cutter. I'm writing a book and we're doing this documentary. They literally will say the exact same things in the exact same order. They'll tell the judge the same thing. They are so predictable. You can almost mouth the words as those abusers go in court of what they're going to say, because it is cookie cutter. It's like they have a playbook.
So you're saying from family to family, basically.
It's the same thing.
Like
the abuser
textbook.
does the same thing. Yeah. It's horrible.
You've got a survivors panel conference through
I do.
Kasem
Cares.
Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. KasemCares.org. Tell me a little bit about that. It's the second annual.
It's the second annual, Kasem Cares conference, and we still have some tickets left. They are going fast because we're doing it in conjunction with the California District Attorneys Association.
Which I haven't signed up yet, but I'm going to.
Please.
Remember, we were on the phone and I said, yes, I'm going to do it. I got off the phone and I didn't do it, but I will. I intend
Please.
to.
Okay, awesome.
Thank
and
you.
there really are only a few tickets because the CDAA, that conference, has so many people. We can only have so many people because the rooms are not big enough for both conferences. So we are kind of squeezing in with them this year. Next year will be bigger. But it's district attorneys from all over the country. It's the law enforcement from all over the country, adult protective services, social workers, and to get to meet all the people from Kasem Cares and victims that are going through this and to see their faces and to hear their stories. So the survivors panel, we don't call it victims panel because these people are surviving.
They're survivors of abuse.
We start with some celebrities. It's going to be, of course, the Kasem story. Glenn Campbell's kids will be there. Mickey Rooney's kids will be there. And then the rest of the panel is people that don't have famous last names.
Right.
People that are going through this. It's an epidemic, and you only hear about it when it has a celebrity name attached. That's the only time anybody cares.
Same with the sexual abuse.
It's true.
And I'm hoping that emotional abuse is next on the list because so many people are so emotionally abused. You've been emotional. I mean, look what's happened here. That is a form of emotional abuse.
100%.
Very strong, very prevalent, tough to prove, and it's out there because they make you look like you're a little crazy because it'll make you go a little crazy.
I'll tell you who's prosecuting stuff like that, and elder abuse, and a courageous man, District Attorney Paul Greenwood. He's going to be speaking at my conference. He spoke last year. He speaks around the country, and he has prosecuted over 600 elder abuse cases.
Oh
this
my
man
gosh.
is, and I guarantee you, if he was the DA here in Los Angeles, and when this went down with my dad, my stepmother would be behind bars. She would be in jail right now.
It's so sad because it's emotional enough to have an elder parent that's may not last very long. And then you have to end up in the court system. And I'm sure through that, a lot of times people have passed on and the people never even got to see, just like yourself. You never really had the opportunity to see your dad. And then he was sent out of the country. I mean, it's just horrible.
We did see my dad at the end because remember, I won conservatorship over him. I won, which is almost impossible to do. I won it. And then she took him out of this state, and she took him to 3 different states. By the time they ended up in Washington, he had a massive bed sore. He had a lung infection. He had a bladder infection. And I had to fight in court for my conservatorship to be good in Washington. And by that time, my dad was dying. And she killed him.
He knew that you were there, though.
Yes, he did.
Did he say anything to you ever?
He was so sick. Now, 3 weeks before that, when we got to sit by his bed and be with him, when TMZ called our family up and said, we found your dad, because she had hid him in different hospitals. Yeah, she was hiding him from us.
Thank God for Harvey.
Yeah. TMZ called us. Yeah, there you go. TMZ called us up and said we found him, told us where he was, and we tried to get in. They wouldn't let us in until one day a woman I was interviewing on my radio show on Gervie's Law. I was interviewing
We have a filmmaker here, so if you see
Yeah.
some guy walking back and forth, have at it. Come on over. That's my good side, by the way, over there, if you want to get me over there.
He's here. He's documenting.
And I'm serious.
For my film, Isolated. He's here shooting for that, and I'm receiving a humanitarian award from Youth for Human Rights December 10th. People can get tickets for that as well. I'm so happy.
Where is that? You
it's in
deserve
Hollywood.
That.
It's in Hollywood.
God, you
Thank
deserve
you.
that. I'm
Thank
telling you, you deserve that. Okay, so a little bit about, gosh, we have so much to talk about.
I know.
In between all this, you're seeing stuff going on in the world. You're seeing earthquakes in Mexico, people getting flooded out of their homes. What do? You pick up the phone and go, I got to go. How do you corral a group so quickly to just go and help?
Good question, because there's a lot of people that can't pick up and go.
If they can't, I always say, there's something going on in your own community. Please, let's try and find it.
That's right. Or give a little bit. And if you can't give money, you know what? Ask people to give. Start asking. Give $1. Give $2. Get a bunch of money together and give as a group. You can always do something. Give clothes. Do something. Volunteer to answer phones. Or there's always something you can do to give back to your community. Whether it's, you can go to hospitals and, there's cancer wards where you can go and you deliver like snacks or you sit with people. Old age homes, sitting with people.
I know veterans. I love working with the veterans, and rather than serve them food, which they need, I like to sit with them because very often they're served their food and then they go and they sit all by themselves. Yeah. And that really breaks my heart when I see that. It just does. People just want to be talked to and treated humanely, So that doesn't cost any money to just go and sit with someone.
I sit with people at my supermarket. I go and I get my salad. And there was this man, I think he died. His name was Jack. And I would see him all the time. He would always go at my supermarket next to my house. And he would sit alone and he would have his food. And I just one day sat down and like, would you mind some company? And we became friends. And he was very, very old. And I one day I just never saw him again. But it's you can do that. You can brighten up somebody's day. So when I go, I work with it's an amazing volunteer group. It's called the Scientology Volunteer Ministers, and you can be any religion. You can be, it doesn't matter. You can be non-religious. They will take you. They will pay for everything. And usually they'll take first responders first. So if you're a doctor, if you're an EMT, whatever is needed. In
Right.
Texas, it was builders. It was people that you could use chainsaws, people that could lift and move and use tractors.
But when you went there, you were there to just. What did they have you doing?
Oh,
you
I
were
was
true boots on the ground, moving anything. I saw
Literally
you.
picking up logs from people like
This little thing. I mean, I saw it. It's true. You were picking up heavy machinery. I'm telling you.
I was. No, we couldn't use the chainsaws. All the guy, there were some guys that could do that, but
Oh, okay.
they would chainsaw the big trees, and we, whether it was 1 by 1 or 2 by 2, and remove them from people's roofs, houses, throw tarps on the roofs because now they have holes in them. We would it was so sad how there were the elderly just trying to pick up twigs and move, and this huge tree is down, and there's no way they're going to get that moved.
So how long were you there the first time that you went over to
10
Houston?
days, and then
What moved you? What motivated you to go? There's always one shot. There's always something there where you say, that's it. This is horrible.
Yeah, I've been with this group since 2010, and I was in Haiti with them, and they call, and whenever there's a disaster all over the world, they'll call team members and say, "Hey, can you go? Can you go? Can you go?" I was in New York. I was on vacation. I was
I love
going.
this story.
Yeah.
I love this. Listen to this.
So I literally, when I was asked to speak at the UN for Youth for Human Rights, and I spoke at the UN, and the next night I was going to see my friend Jim Barber in Phantom of the Opera. He plays a Phantom. And then we had a week to spend in New York. My boyfriend, his dad was there, family was there.
Who is
had this
adorable. I love you two together.
Jesse Cove. He's so
he's
cute.
adorable.
So
He really
cute.
is
the sweetest. So we go and see that play, and that night I get a call saying they need help in Texas. We need to get as many people down there as we possibly
So
can.
you gave up an entire week of going to the theater.
Yeah.
That's tough. A lot of people would not have done that.
I know, and what we were gonna see, I was so upset. I can't even tell you. It was like we were gonna
But
see
you went.
Beautiful and this. And yes, but of course I went. I said, "I'm sorry, guys," and they understood. Everybody, they said, "We get it. Go." So I got down
amazing.
there. Yeah, got down there, did that, and I was off that week for my radio shows. So I had double the time. I didn't have to fly back into Los Angeles to do the show, which was great. And then
I'm telling you, Kerri, a lot of people would not have done that. A lot of people would say, "Can I go next week?" I know you had to be back for work, but still. Or can I go in 4 days? I got to see these plays. Yeah. That's amazing. And then after that, what? You went to
Mexico.
To Mexico.
Yes.
Did you go from one to the other? Or did you even get home?
What did I do? I went from Texas. I came back home. I did my radio show because that was, after that. Then I went to Mexico and then Puerto Rico. I was asked to go to Puerto Rico, but we had gotten together with I think it was 10 or 12 other organizations that pulled together in Utah, and they came up with $1 million to buy all the rebuilding equipment for Rockport. So the volunteer ministers got their trucks. They got 10 big rigs. They loaded up, everything you can think of to rebuild. Tons of lumber, everything. And we did a drive from Utah all the way down to Rockport, Texas, and delivered all the supplies. So I couldn't miss that. I'm like, no, wait a second. I've been here forever. I know the people of this town. This is a beautiful town.
What you're doing for other people, they see you can do it. They can do it too. You've served at the LA Mission, right?
Yes.
For Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Because you know who's on the phone with us right now?
Oh, I got to put my headphones on.
No. We can hear him. Can we hear him? Or do I need my headphones? Ivan?
Hello.
Hey, how are you? We weren't going to get
Awesome.
feedback, are we? I won't get any feedback from that.
I'm great. I don't have headphones. I just have my phone.
That's okay. We're loud in here. You'll hear us loud and clear, I promise you. Ivan Klassen.
Oh, yeah. I've been enjoying being regaled by these wonderful stories of help and gratitude. And just amazing. So how are you guys today?
We're really great. I really appreciate you calling in because the Los Angeles Mission, they serve what? You serve 4,000 people who come through your doors on Thanksgiving?
Well, we do between 3,500 and 4,000 meals on that day, and some repeat because the food is so good. Let's just be honest.
The stuffing in particular, I gotta
And the
say.
macaroni
Yeah,
and
we're-
cheese and mashed potatoes, yes.
I know. Come on. I know.
Oh.
So tell me,
it's-
you've been with them for what, 10 years now?
Yeah, October 3rd, I got the big 10-year pin. Well, we really don't give pins out. I just saw it on my calendar. But yes, 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, every year we see on the news people going like yourself and serving food at the LA mission. And I just wanted to have him as part of our conversation for a few minutes and talk about, first of all, it's a huge event that you put on. I don't even quite know how you managed to coordinate all of it. But, we were talking yesterday on the phone, Ivan, how not just Thanksgiving, but the day after and the day after and the day after, because it's great that we do these things on the holidays. It really is. I'm not taking anything away, but it's got to be the day after and on some random day in February when nobody's listening or noticing. That's when those things hurt. Yeah. But that's why what you do, what Kerri does is inspiring, because let's do it the next day too. That's what I like to say. Let's do it the next day. But you also give away blankets. You do all kinds of things, right? That day on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I mean, we really try to give that, bring 3,500 to 4,000 meals, which is really tough to make a family meal like that. But we really try to bring it to the people, and because they're no different than you or I. They're much more the same, than they are different. And
yes,
and so we just want to bring love and hope. And make them feel like part of the family. So we do this meal, this Thanksgiving meal, and Chef Michael Voltaggio and a number of other chefs, Chef Sampson, Duff Goldman, Josiah Citron. There's been a number over the years that have come in and really partnered with our kitchen, not trying to be the rock stars or anything, but just come in. And, Michael, he said, I just want to be the sous chef. And we've made some just incredible gourmet meals. And this year, again, we have everything is freshly sourced. We have, I think it's 2,000 or 19, I think it's 1,900 pounds of yams, 1,000 pounds of candied yams, 2,000 pounds of collard greens. We're making sweet potato pies. We have 600 fresh made sweet potato pies, and so this is what we do.
Anyone can come, right? I mean, you don't turn anyone away who would like to have a meal with you, right? At the Los Angeles mission, is that correct?
Well, So let's be clear. Anyone can come who wants a meal. So. We call them our friends and neighbors. Some would call them homeless. We call them our friends and neighbors. So if you come now, we do have to cut the line at some point, just because we don't want to tick off the city, because we have a little thing called a permit. So we definitely we want to adhere to that. But anyone can come, and of course, like you said, the day after and the day after, Chef Voltaggio, he got up on stage. In 2015, he said, everyone take a picture. And he said, now remember this day, like you said, in February, in June, because the mission's doing it, each and every day. Now, to be a volunteer, we're full, but like I said, we're here all year, and we would love people to volunteer throughout the year, because we just cannot do it without our volunteers.
So that's another example. Volunteer throughout the year, right? I mean, you have volunteers throughout the year doing all kinds of things. Isn't that correct?
Oh yeah, I mean, just this
it's morning, not just this
I
one
had
day.
One of my board members who, from our foundation board, he used to be on a show called Laguna Beach and the Hills, and his name is Jason Wahler, and he's struggled with addiction, and he's turned his life around, and now he's giving back, and he brought a few guys up, and he was peeling this morning. So, and it's just everyday people like myself, and you don't know who you're going to meet in the Los Angeles Mission kitchen, so we're every day, we're doing something down here, and it might be helping with custodial. You might be helping do something decorating. At Christmas we decorate the whole place. There's always something. And then we have professional volunteers as well, law firms, and we have
people who need legal advice. Boy, they could use you for one, not just to serve, but they could use you back there again just to talk about. Elder abuse and signs of.
Sure. I mean, it's a lot of these people have been abused. I was down there. I can't remember. Were you there when I was helping on Thanksgiving once? I don't know if you were there.
Now, what year was that? Do you
I
remember?
can't remember. It was so long ago. It may have been more than 10 years ago, but I've seen, being in downtown Los Angeles a lot, it seems like the homeless population has gotten a lot worse. So there must be
everywhere,
yeah, it
and I
must be
feel
so
badly.
much more. Yeah.
Are you getting more people trying to come through your doors?
Exactly.
Well, there's only so much we can do, but
Yeah.
we have seen the impact in the past year and then some. The homeless numbers went up 23% from 44,000 to 57,000. So
Wow.
these are astronomical numbers.
That's
and
enormous.
in this city.
That's
this
a
should
town.
not be happening.
No, it shouldn't be happening. And I'm seeing them in my neighborhood and your neighborhood. And I always say this to my
Sure.
kids, and I've said this since they were really, really little. When they were 2 and 3 years old and somebody said, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" They didn't look up and say, "I just can't wait to be homeless." This is something that happens to people. There's circumstances that happen and their lives turn, whether it is addiction, abuse, or whatever. So we need to be compassionate to homeless people, not just walk
Yes.
by all the time and not pay attention. It's very heartbreaking to me.
Sure.
So just remember that, everybody. They that's not what they
Well,
aspired to be.
right.
We certainly are of a like mind, because I'm like, I don't know if I stole that from you or you from me, because I've said that verbatim to so many of our junior high school groups, college groups. No one ever says that. They want to be a fireman, they want to be Superman, they want to be a nurse, a doctor, a musician, a football player, whatever it is. And you are right. It is a place that they're caught in.
So
and
just
not who
remember
they are.
that.
And that's what we do here. We recapture lives at the Los Angeles Mission.
So, Ivan, any parting words before we let you go? Because I just wanted you to be a part of this conversation on giving with myself and Kerri. Anything you'd like to say?
Well, there are so many ways, of course, that people can give back. Time, treasure, talent. We always face a tough times right at the end of the year, and this is when most of our monies come in. If you would like to make a donation, you can go to www.losangelesmission.org. So we would definitely appreciate that. Any little bit helps, and just to quantify it, even $2.03, that provides a beautiful meal for someone.
There you go, $2.03.
Every dollar helps, and we take no
People think it
government
doesn't, but
funding,
it
by
does.
the way.
No government funding? Is that what you said?
That is correct. That
Wow.
is correct. It's all through donors, foundations and grants, some bequests, and direct mail campaigns, and major donors. So, yeah, every little bit helps. Trust me.
Thank you, Ivan, so much for being on. Ivan Klassen,
Thank
is that how you
you.
say your last name? Director of the
Yeah,
Los
Ivan
Angeles
Klassen,
Mission.
yeah.
And a happy Thanksgiving
Like
to
the
you. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, because I know that you served there. That's a really neat experience, isn't it? I mean, I've
Yes.
done that with the veterans, and it always moves me every year to the point where I'm more choked up half of the meal. I'm supposed to be holding it together, and I always feel so badly. And I have to say, pick yourself up. You're here to try and just be a little bit inspiring and be a little, cheerful. So
It is hard. It's very hard.
It's very difficult, but do it anyway. Find somewhere to go and do it anyway. Anything small.
Right. And whatever is, it's something that you feel kind of a passion for, a little flame, or something tells you, hey, I need to help, do it. And if
It could be kids, it could be elderly, it could be whatever.
Anything.
Nursing homes. Oh my God, those people are left alone so often. It's again
so sad, but a lot of
isolation.
them, they're left alone because their guardian,
That's what I'm
spouse, whatever,
saying.
basically
left them
tells
there.
the nursing home, don't let anybody in. No joke. This happens all the time. And they sit there wondering, why is no one visiting me? Why does nobody love me? It's horrific. It is really sad. So yeah, if you can go visit nursing homes, if you're in a nursing home and you're visiting, your grandma, your grandpa, your mom, your dad, go and visit with some of the other people. Go and say hi. It might make their day. These people are so lonely, and loneliness kills 50%.
Loneliness
faster.
is horrifying.
Yeah.
I actually even have hopefully this will never happen to me, but I'm fearful. Gosh, at the end of one's life, you don't want to be alone. No. I would think that's the hardest thing to have
and that's
to go
why a lot
through.
of these people will actually
let people in.
Let people in and hold on to their abusers because it's the only thing they have. Mm-hmm. It's the only person that's paying any attention, even if they're abusing them.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
So, with all this going on in your life, now
Yes.
you also have time for a business that you're launching,
Yes.
agelessandhealthy.com.
Yes.
If anyone is ageless and healthy, come on, it's you. Look at you.
Aw,
Take a look at
thanks.
you.
It's Botox, fillers, lasers, everything. I talk about anything I do. To my Facebook, like, what? Yes, my friends, you can't be 45 years old and look the way I do without help. There are some people who are genetically, I mean, it's rare. It's 1% of the population that don't do anything to their faces. But yeah,
I
so
need to do stuff
I've
because
been-
do because I guess it would help, but I don't know what to do first. Like, what do
just
I do? Where do I go?
I'll tell you one thing: no surgery, because there's so much out there now.
I would just
you
like
don't
plumper
need
lips.
it.
That's it.
I can help you
even
do
have
all
any
of it.
wrinkles.
But you don't want to look overfilled. I look at some of these reality stars, Beverly Hills Housewives, some of them, these huge cheeks, these
No,
overfilled
I'd rather
faces.
be wrinkled, old,
Oh,
and droopy
no.
than look like some of those
No,
people.
and you want to be able to move your face. And, the Botox where you're not moving anything. It's like, wait a second. No. That is not the way to do things. But also being healthy from the inside out. So I go from, beauty from the inside out. So, a lot of people don't want to do Botox and filler, and that's fine. There are so many other things I can
Well, you know
show
why?
you
Because so many
health-wise.
people do a bad job.
Oh,
Okay,
I know.
health-wise, very quickly
Health-wise, yes.
with this. Because I
Yes.
also have someone on who's calling in with something that I'm working on for this weekend. And I'd love for you to join me if you
Okay,
can.
sure.
It's out in Malibu. I'll tell you in a minute. But so what do you eat? I mean, is it what you put in your body as well? As
Yes,
opposed
I'm
to
a
what you're
vegetarian.
injecting yourself with? I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing I'm going to first talk about, my first article and my vlogs and my blogging is about hydration. And people say, I drink water. If you do not drink water with electrolytes, meaning potassium and salt, you're just peeing it out. That's what's happening.
so what's a good brand of water to buy? let's say?
Essentia is phenomenal.
Essentia.
Zoe, if you can find Zoe water, is fantastic. Anything that has an electrolyte balance in
Right,
it.
because you don't want to sit there. I mean, I just did the New York Marathon, as I told you, which was really hard. And it was Gatorade that got me through all those stands. And that's just
But
sugar.
that's full of sugar.
That's what I'm saying.
It has tons of
It's sugar.
The electrolytes work,
Right.
but you're also putting junk in your body.
Junk with
Deadly.
electrolytes. No offense. You were perfect. I appreciate really getting me through the marathon. But my point is, on a daily basis, water with electrolytes.
Water with electrolytes.
Water.
Yes.
Because you need those electrolytes. They will
I'm
keep
selling
you
them on
moving.
my site. Everything that I use is going to be up on that site. I'm not going to sell anything I don't use personally or don't believe in. I don't care how much you pay me. I'm not somebody who's going to get a deal from
No, that's
somebody
not
and
who
say,
you are. Look at how you spend your days. You're fighting for,
I can make a lot of money doing things that I don't believe in, and I'm not going to do that. Yeah.
Wow. So the radio show, you've got agelessandhealthy.com. You've got the survivors panel with kasemcares.org.
But then the next day we have, from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., the speakers that we have are unbelievable. So if you want to check out the conference, it's kasemcares.org. If you are going through this, if you need grief counseling, we have that. There's a phone number right there. You can write me. I will write you back.
And she will.
Yes. So
Please don't look at her and say, she's the daughter of someone famous. Believe it or not, that's not what this is about. Anyone can do something. And anyone also can call and work with you, too.
Sure.
Because I know you've got volunteers.
we need volunteers.
You need
yes,
them.
we do. We do.
That's what I'm trying to do, is just inspire people also to get out there.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot. It takes a lot of guts. Famous kid or not, money or not.
And people think I have the money my dad has.
Which you
so
don't.
I've actually had people say, I didn't donate because I thought you had millions of dollars. No, I don't have millions of dollars. No, I do not have the money my dad left me. Do I work for a living? Absolutely. Did my father teach us work ethic? Absolutely.
Are you kidding? We were on the phone the other day. You're like, well, I have to go here because I have to get to work. And then the next day I have to get to work. And you've got that ethic, not just to work, but you have to get to work. You're paying your bills
I have to
too.
pay my bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. We were not trust fund babies. That's not how my dad set it up. My dad here's a funny story. I was 16 years old. I was at Beverly Hills High School for a short time until I left. I got out of there. But I'm here at Beverly Hills High School. And have you seen the parking lot at Beverly Hills High School?
Yep, I
it's
know well.
unbelievable. Looks like the exotic car rental.
It really
right?
does.
It's ridiculous.
It's incredible.
Right?
And I'm not even just talking Mercedes. We're talking like the
Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
Can you imagine?
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. So I'm thinking, okay, it's my 16th birthday. I'm going to get a car. My dad and mom, of course they'd want me to take my brother and sister to school. So a few weeks out, I'm asking my dad for a hint. And he says, well, it's silver. I'm like, okay, silver car. That's good. That's good. Next week, I say, Dad, give me another hint. I want another hint. Okay, it's metal. And I'm like, oh, guys, I'm getting a car. I'm so excited. Freedom. The next week, before my birthday, I asked him for my last hint, and he says it's got keys. So I've told everybody at this point I'm getting a silver car. My mom even thinks so. And I'm like, okay, this makes sense. So my 16th birthday, I arrive at my dad's house. There's a huge box on the floor. My sister and brother are looking at me. I'm looking at them because my dad was not a huge gift giver at all. And I mean, he gave me the best gifts in life. And, that's,
his love,
integrity, love. He always said, if you don't work for it and I buy it for you, you're not going to care about it. You want self-esteem, get a job. So he taught me priceless things. So here I am. It's my 16th birthday. I have this box on the ground there. I go and I open it, and there's styrofoam, and it's heavy, and I can't lift it. So my brother and sister come over, and we lift this square thing surrounded by styrofoam out of the box and onto the floor. Yeah. We start moving the styrofoam off, and there it is. It's silver. It's metal. It's got keys. It's my new typewriter.
Oh no, that's hysterical.
Yeah. So it was heartbreaking.
Dad, that
smiled.
was brilliant.
It was horrible, but of course he's not going to get me a car. I didn't work for it, first of all. Second of all, my grades weren't good enough. I mean, that wasn't my dad.
I got to tell you something briefly because I have a guest waiting on the phone that I want you to meet. But I have a much older sister, and I used to love to mess with her. And I told her that Mom and Dad, you're going to get a car for Christmas. You're going to get a car. And I think she was 17 or 18. I was just a little kid, a really little kid. And I went and I got a little Matchbox car. And I kept telling her, I said, look, I've seen it. I know the color. You are definitely getting a car. And when Christmas came and she opened that box, she was so mad at me because I thought, I don't know. I didn't really think it's horrible, but I didn't really think she'd fall for it. I'm this little kid, and she really thought she was getting a car.
Yeah.
A year later, though, she did get a car, and she deserved it because she needed to drive around and go to work because we didn't come from much either. That's for sure. But will you join me for another segment because I'm going to be someplace Sunday that I'm really excited about, really proud to be a part of. Are you there, Ellen?
I am.
Ellen Shane. Ellen Shane, director of the Shane Foundation. Ellen, I want you to tell my guest and everyone out there, what are we going to be doing on Sunday? This is so exciting. We're going to be out in Malibu, the Malibu Bluffs. It is going to be such a wonderful, wonderful family day. Come out, enjoy the food trucks, enjoy the weather, enjoy people, but in particular, to support the Emily Shane Foundation. And I'm going to let you take it for a couple minutes, Ellen, if you could tell us why we're doing this and what people can come out and sponsor.
Sure. So this is our third time doing this event, and it's in support of our foundation. The Emily Shane Foundation has a program called the SEA program that stands for Successful Educational Achievement. And basically what we do, it has a very specific focus. It's for children in middle school in the mainstream classroom who are failing or struggling academically and who cannot otherwise afford any type of support or outside help. There is nothing in the school system for children this, and they often head in a very negative direction. And what we do, the school identifies these children. We pair them with a mentor tutor who works with them intensively over the course of the school year. And there's the component of the academic support, which is the tutoring part, and there's the mentoring part, because some of these children actually don't have anyone really invested or caring about them or helping and guiding them in life decisions and just with things going on socially or whatever's going on in their lives. And the only cost to these kids, because of course we're helping children who couldn't afford this, is that they have to do one good deed for every session they have with their mentor. And what we're doing this Sunday is a fundraising event, although the event itself is free and open to the public, so anyone can come. We ask people voluntarily to sponsor butterflies.
At $10 a butterfly, which is really
lovely. It's $10 a butterfly, and the butterfly is actually our foundation symbol. And we're going to be releasing just about 1,000 butterflies, and it's a magical sight. It's just fantastic. And what we're doing, in addition to that kind of momentous moment, we have live music, we have a speaker coming, we have food trucks, we have a children's activity table.
But let me just say, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
That's
but
okay.
I'm looking at the time here. Mm-hmm. Also, it's in honor of your beautiful daughter, Emily.
Yes.
Who sadly was killed by a murderous driver who is in prison.
Yes.
And she was killed along the Pacific Coast Highway. So hence the name.
She
the
was
Emily
13
Shane
years old.
She was 13.
And in 8th grade. And she herself struggled academically in school.
And that's why
I do this.
That's why they chose this, because their daughter, their 13-year-old daughter, who was tragically killed on the Pacific Coast Highway, I might also add, while her father is on her way to pick her up on the Pacific Coast Highway, he passes ambulances thinking, wow, what's going on here? He's waiting for his daughter. Daughter isn't showing up. And could you imagine that kind of a shock?
No, I can't.
Could you even begin to imagine? So these people have
horrific.
turned this around in Emily's name. And when I first heard about this, read about this, got to know the Shanes, I was so moved by how they were able to turn this around. I don't think I'd be able to turn something like that around and to do something and move it forward for the next person who's struggling in school. So again, the theme is to give back and do something. The Shanes have done this because of a tragedy in their lives. You've done this because of what's happened in your life with your father, Kerri, and so many other people. Again, to get out and give. And those who can't show up in Malibu, by the way, you can also donate, right? At the
right, Emily Shane. You just go to emilyshane.org.
For $10 a butterfly.
$10 a butterfly, and people
or less.
can choose one or more, as many as many as they would like.
In honor of Emily,
sponsor.
and to help other kids who have struggled with learning.
That's really beautiful. What I heard through doing this the last 4 years is that people that get in, they create the foundations because it's something that it directly affects them. And then other people go, oh, okay, that sounds awesome. But unless it directly affects you, you don't
imagine?
Go out and do stuff like this. You don't go out and create foundations. You don't work so hard to create something that helps other people unless it directly has affected you.
I'm very empathetic. And when I hear about what's happened to you with your dad, it really moves me. Now, I'm one of those people who will be up at night thinking about it. I really will. I really hurt when I see people. But then I'm inspired when I see people doing the kind of work and picking themselves up and making something of it so nobody else has to suffer like that. And same for you as well, Ellen, in honor of Emily. And I'm really looking forward to it. We're one of the hosts, myself and John. So we're going to be there at the Malibu Bluffs as well. So it's going to be a really great day.
Yes, great afternoon. So just to remind people, it's on Sunday, this coming Sunday. Starts at 2, from 2 to 4 p.m. at a beautiful park. It's right over the ocean. It's a beautiful park.
Right. So thank you for calling in, and we'll see you on Sunday.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Thanks. So again, she was in. I love the applause. Well, come on, we have hundreds of people in this studio.
Right, it's right.
So many are in here.
Yeah.
But again, she was moved and motivated by something horrible that I can't even begin to imagine. Dad's over at the corner going, "Where is Emily?"
Yeah.
And he just passed Emily. And it was just really a horrible situation over by Zuma Beach near Zuma there. In fact, they have the road named after. The driver was enraged because he had a fight with his girlfriend. And he was apparently, you can look this up because it had to go to trial twice because the first time he was not convicted. He was enraged and he was just driving erratically. And I think 10 people had called into the police saying, there's a lunatic on the PCH. And he kept going. And apparently he was saying, I'm going to get somebody. And he saw little Emily on the side of the road and slammed into her and killed her instantly. It's pretty horrific. So, but again, sadly, truly sadly, no one should ever be in a situation like that. This family has turned that tragedy around to help other kids with learning disorders. The same way that you are with what you're going through. Yeah. And where will you be on Thanksgiving?
Where am I going to be? I'm going to be with two families, my mom and then we're going to Jesse Cove, my fiance. His dad is Martin Cove, and you got to have him on the show now.
No, I want to have him on. He's adorable.
You've got to have him.
We always talk about dinner.
So
we should
funny.
all just go to dinner.
And Marty Cove, if people don't know, he was the sensei in the Karate Kid, the sweep the leg, no mercy. He was in Cagney and Lacey and Rambo. He plays these heavies, and he is one of the funniest.
But he's a little sweetheart, isn't he?
He's so funny.
Yeah,
he's so funny.
I do want him on, actually. I would love to have him on. And your boyfriend.
They'll come
that would
do
be
the show.
really, really fun.
Absolutely, they would. They'd love it.
And for people who want to donate, how can they get a hold of you? And how can they donate towards your cause?
You can go to
believe me, even if you're not going through this, it could happen. Should your parents be fortunate enough to live older, right?
Yeah.
You never know. It could be a caretaker. It could be somebody in the family.
And this, every donation, I cannot tell you. People say, oh, it doesn't cost. I've actually had people say it doesn't cost anything to get a bill done. I'm like, well, my plane tickets cost a lot. The hotel costs a lot.
And
my
you're doing
meals
this for
cost a
other
lot.
people.
I am paying
You're
for this. A lot of
getting
it's my
this
own
past
money. Yeah.
11 bills
Yes.
so far.
Yeah. So
First time we had you on, it wasn't 11
No,
bills.
it wasn't.
So look at how far you've gone in a short amount of time.
It has. And I think it was 3 bills last time I was here.
Yeah.
So it does. And it helps with creating, we have awareness programs. We have grief programs, KasemCares.org. Take a look. I mean, if you donated just a couple dollars, people think it doesn't help. It does help. Everything helps. You can see where your money is going. You can see the programs that we have. Our grief hotline has been, nobody else has that for elder abuse victims, the way like for isolation when you can't get a hold of your parent. You are talking to people who are going through the exact same thing or who have gone through the exact same thing.
And I'm sure you know your dad's right on your shoulder.
Oh,
right?
he is. No, he's
You
with me
feel
all the
him.
time.
He's pushing you right
All the
through
time.
this. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, Kerri, let's keep going. Wake up. You
Yeah.
know, you're on it.
Yeah.
So I'm so appreciative that you came
Thank
in.
you.
I'm really inspired by you, and I hope other people are as well. And just remember, for the holidays this year, give something back, small or big. Anyway, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here for another terrific edition. I love this show of Deborah Kobylt Live, and we will see you next week.